This is Marty Stewart with SeminarSecrets.com. You can hear the complete version of this big seminar interview by going to www.SeminarSecrets.com.
My name is Armand, Morin. You're on the Big Seminar Preview Series, and tonight we have a special guest that's going to be joining with us, a friend of mine, a great friend of mine, Alex Mandossian, and we're going to be talking with him over the course of the next 60 minutes about how you can build a profitable business through teleseminars. We're going to go over all the details in just a little bit. I have exactly the top of the hour right now. I have exactly 9 p.m. Eastern Time, so we're going to get this call started underway. As I said earlier, my name is Armand Morin, and you're on the Big Seminar Preview Series, and this happens to be just one of the many calls that we've done to promote the Big Seminar. And what we've been doing over the course of the last, I guess about 6 weeks now, is actually bringing people on these teleseminars, the speakers that are going to be at the Big Seminar in just 2 short weeks that are going to be teaching people for 3 days the true power, the true secrets of marketing their business online. And we've really brought the best of the best into Los Angeles this time to really teach you just a huge amount of information. And one of those people are on this call with us this evening, and that person's name is Alex Mandossian. And, I've met Alex, I guess it's about 3 or 4 years ago now, and I first originally hired him as a copywriter. I need someone to write copy for me. Then we found out that we had a lot in common. We started doing things together. In fact, one of the first projects directly relates to this call that we're going to have this evening. We did a project together that, very simply, was a teleseminar. Alex asked me if I'd be on this teleseminar with him. The way it worked was very simple. He had a list of questions. I asked him the questions. He gave me the answers. And we put people onto this conference call, and we both made a huge amount of money just from one simple teleseminar. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And so what we're going to talk about, what Alex is going to teach you, is what's taken him years to do. And that is a system that he's been developed that works not just part of the time, not just the majority of the time, but it works all the time on how to create a profitable teleseminar from your home. You can be anywhere in the world. You can dial for dollars. And I've done it everywhere. I've done it in the middle of a hurricane. I've done it from a boxing match. And you can do it, too, under much less strenuous circumstances. And so with that, I'd like to introduce everyone to a good friend of mine, one of my business partners, Alex Mandossian. So, Alex, welcome to the call tonight.
Hi, Armand, and hi, everybody. I cannot wait to dive into this content because we have never talked about this before, and the cheat sheet that everyone should have in front of them will guide them along this process, and I hope that it'll demonstrate the power of having some type of curriculum and structure to a teleconference, because that's part of what we're going to teach tonight. Is structure is important to keep on message and to keep people listening so that they don't multitask and surf or pay attention to other things other than the content being delivered.
Now, Alex, we have a lot of information to start. And let's just, before we get to, I don't think, we get a little bit of time before we get into the information, but I just want to let everyone know, now, a little bit about yourself. Now, you've worked with some of the top names in marketing, period. You've come from a background that was from the direct marketing, direct response background, such as infomercials.
Right.
And you've worked with people like Ron Popeil, Susan Summers, and the Thigh Master. You've worked with Anthony Robbins and Associates. You've worked with One Shopping Cart. You've worked with my companies. You've worked with literally everybody out there in the market, and then you've migrated over to the internet marketing in a very big way. And now you teach conversion, you teach traffic conversion, and all these different things regarding the internet. But what's happened recently is you have really started focusing a lot on teleseminars, and could you explain to everyone just a little bit why?
Well, you have the medium, which is the marketing medium that you're using to get to your market, and then you have the message. And the beauty of teleconferencing or teleseminars or teleclinics, whatever you want to call it, is it's a very intimate medium. It's not like a space ad. It's not like an email. It's an instant messaging with hundreds of people, sometimes thousands of people, only with auditory or verbal communication. And it's very intimate, and you can get to know a lot about a person, because when you type an email, I think the most emotion you can put into something is a winky face or a happy face or a sad face after you type a line. But you can tell by tone and pace, and if you whisper or or if you talk very loud, that someone is delivering content in a specific way, and the personality can come out. Now, I have a traffic conversion secrets course that has been very successful over the past 5 months, and it has 8 modules, 2 CDs to each module, about 16 hours of training plus a bonus CD, and it involves target market strategies, opt-in strategies, offline audio strategies, which we talk about, audio generator, teleseminar strategies, copywriting strategies, recycling strategies, autoresponder strategies, and offline marketing strategies. And I'm very Socratic, and I survey all of my customers, my prospects, my evangelists. And you know, the number one module in that 8-module course is teleseminar strategies. It's gotten the most acclaim, it's gotten the most questions, it's gotten the most interest. So when I got together with you and you asked me, what are you going to have for continuing education at the big seminar? And I said, I don't know, what do you think? And you said, what about teleseminars? You've never talked about it. You do it all the time. You make a fortune from it. What do you think? And I thought, you're right, because I've gotten the most traction on it. It is possible, folks, to make 7 figures through teleseminars. It is absolutely possible to make 6 figures year after year if you do the right thing. And many of the things we're going to talk about tonight, whether or not you make it to the big seminar, are all about how to make up to 6 figures and even 7 figures through teleseminar marketing. That's what we're doing right now. This preview call is here for a purpose. It is to get to know, like, and trust the faculty, and this is one of the calls of many that Armand has put together. Actually, Armand, I think you and I almost pioneered the preview call series before conferences, and it's the most cost-effective way to put people into seats, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, when we were first started the big seminar, the first, many people maybe don't even know this, don't even remember this, but you and I were doing a teleseminar, and we've talked about this many times, where because people weren't used to this medium, our lists weren't, let's say trained for this medium yet, we were doing a conference call where I believe we had one person on the call.
That's correct.
But yet we did it anyway because it was such in the early days. And I say early days, but it was only about 3 years ago.
Well, it's 3 years ago, and it's because many people think that their first teleseminar is going to be a hit. And I have news for everyone. Before we begin, this is the getting to know you part of the teleconference that Armand is setting up. And we're going to talk about many strategies from the cheat sheet that you have. The first teleseminar is going to be the worst one you have. It's going to have the lowest attendance, and it probably isn't going to have the most meaty content because you need to skin your knees and bloody your nose in this medium. But it is so much less expensive than having a physical seminar. If you doubt that, just ask Armand. You can break even on your first teleconference. In fact, you can have a free teleconference, and if no one shows up, you can hang up. Every single year on my birthday, on March 9th, I think about what I want to make for the following 12 months. And then, once I've figured out what I want to make each month, I try to figure out what is the least amount I'm going to work to get there. And teleseminar marketing is one of the big components of working less and making more money. So tonight, I want to share those secrets, and I've really kept the secret from Armand as well because I like a wow factor. All of this is tested. It's true. It's factual, whether you want to believe it or not. And I am a tester. I'm a tester just like you had John Reese a couple nights ago. I test everything with teleseminar marketing. In fact, right now, we are looking at the number of people who are coming on and leaving every 5 minutes of this call as we speak. This is a free teleconference because it's going to be part of a continuing education course, and I want to get that data. And also, it's very important to understand that everything that you'll hear today is a function of experience, of empirical knowledge. We have actually gone through the process, and it is tested and true. It is not hearsay. It is a function of doing over 1 million minutes a year. What does that mean? Well, if you do a 60-minute call and you have 100 people on that call, you just multiply the 100 by the number of minutes and multiply that over the course of a year, and you figure out how many people are listening if you have over 1 million minutes a year. And Armand, I know you do over 1 million minutes a year. So if you're going to take advice from someone or a group of people, make sure it's people who know what they're talking about. And you are listening to 2 people that do over 2 million minutes a year and probably going to double that next year as we get more and more people on these calls. Back to you.
Absolutely. Well, let's get right into the content. And the first question, according to the cheat sheet that everyone has in front of them, is what are the 4 time-tested tactics to get your teleseminar registrants to actually show up for all of your calls? And that's probably the biggest question that people have.
Well, I want to start on the right foot, and if you have a cheat sheet in front of you, you have picked it up at bigseminar.com/preview.pdf. Armand mentioned it many times, but I want to give it to you right now to be fair. It's www.bigseminar.com/preview.pdf, and I have 4 goals for you today. I want you to print this cheat sheet out and take notes on the call so you don't multitask. It's tough to multitask when you're writing. I want you to think about how to quickly implement the secrets revealed on this call, even though it's a free call. I want you to make a deadline to complete at least 3 of the tips you'll learn on this call. And then I want you to start calculating how much you make from teleseminars, and many people don't do that. So let's take a look at the first question, the 4 time-tested tactics. Number 1, you want everyone to show up on time. Well, everyone has a watch, and some people set it 15 minutes ahead. Some people set it on time. Some people don't bother looking, and they're maybe 5 or 10 minutes behind. Why don't we have a universal clock? And number 1, one of the first tactics that I know I pioneered because I didn't see it before, about 4.5 years ago, is I used time.gov. In fact, on this cheat sheet, it says we will start on time according to time.gov. You want your listeners to trust you, so number 1 is always tell people that you will be starting according to time.gov. That's how Armand starts. That's how I start. I hope that's how you will start and end your teleconferences. Number 2, have a handout or a cheat sheet like the one you have in front of you. Now, why is that important? It's important to have a cheat sheet because teleseminars are so much more difficult to maintain attention than a physical seminar. Armand, think about it. You're on stage. People are watching you sitting in the audience. They're not looking around. They're not even going to the restroom because they kind of feel odd if they're in the front row excusing themselves going to the restroom because people will notice. There are people watching. But with a teleconference, people can leave. They can multitask. They can have kids, crawling on their back, a spouse calling them down for dinner. They can be surfing the net. If you have a handout, I can't just be talking on speakerphone. You have to take notes like I hope you're doing right now. What are you doing right now? Are you taking notes? Number 1 was time.gov. Number 2 is have a cheat sheet like the one you're looking at, and a PDF is the best way to do it online, just like at www.bigseminar.com/preview.pdf. Number 3, you got multiple email reminders online. Did you not? You got them from Armand. I know I did. By getting multiple email reminders in this over-communicated, over-marketed society that we live in, we're exposed to 300 marketing communications a day, 24,000 a week, 1.24 million a year if you live in any metropolitan area. It's way over-communicated, so you're going to forget about the call. Some people are coming on right now. So, what do? Well, what are we battling against, Armand? We are battling against, in some parts of the country, the Donald Trump apprentice.
Absolutely.
Right? And so many people are going to listen to this call afterward in a recorded session. If you are on my list, or if you're going to be one of my guests, you will have access to it immediately. Also, we are creating a product out of this call, so you may have paid for this product as you're listening because you didn't make this call. But the only way you could have made this call if you took advantage of the email reminders, we recommend at least 2 email reminders, one in the morning on the same day and one about 4 or 5 hours before the call, and you got that from Armand. That is online, and that's number 3. Number 4, Armand has done this. Mark Victor Hansen has done this. Many people have done it. I hope you will do it too, listening right now. Voice broadcast, fax broadcast. Those are offline, off-page strategies and tactics to get people to your calls. Did you know that if you have 1,000 people registered, you will be lucky to get 400 or even 300 people on that call? Like 30%. If you get 50%, you're way above the curve as far as what the average is. So people register, but they don't show up. Well, you can't get your message across unless they do show up. So use email reminders, use voice broadcast, use fax broadcast. Imagine getting in a voice broadcast from Armand at your home saying, hey, it's Armand Morin. I hope you make the call tonight. Now, that would have cost Armand anywhere from 7 to 10 cents to do that. It is worth it because you may be one click away from attending the big seminar in Los Angeles. Hopefully that voice broadcast got you on the call. A fax broadcast, like voice broadcast, has no spam filter. It's physical, and you can tape it to the wall. In fact, the cheat sheet that you have, it says at the very top with my picture, because remember, you can't see me, so I want you to see my picture. I want you to see who you're talking to. That's why that picture is there. I hope you'll do that and just put your picture where mine is. I want you to print this page and tape it to your wall. What does that do to your audience? It makes them remember. So the 4 time-tested tactics are use time.gov, have a handout or cheat sheet. Number 3, have email reminders on the same day. And number 4, use voice broadcasting and fax broadcasting as offline strategies. And those are the answers to the first question.
You know, and it's interesting to point out that, you know, some people do some of these things, others do maybe a few more. But, you know, if you do all of them, which we have, is we've used the time.gov, we've used the cheat sheets, we've used the multiple reminders, and we've used the fax broadcast. I mean, that is truly when you're going to get the maximum number of people onto the call if you use all of them. So, you know, one thing I just want to point out to everyone is use all of them. It doesn't take that much more effort to do all of those things instead of just 1 or 2.
That's right, and it's almost geometrically you'll get more attendance if you use a combination of all of them because now people know you're real. They're getting a fax, they're getting voice, and they're getting email, and you will have a competitive advantage over everyone else in your niche or industry.
Absolutely. So now the next question is this. Statistically, when, during a 60-minute teleseminar, do you have the most participants listening to make your offer?
Well, why don't you give the 4 choices?
Well, choice number 1 is A, during the first 5 minutes of your teleseminar, B, during the last 5 minutes of your teleseminar, C, at least the 30-minute mark of your teleseminar, D, between 10 minutes and 40-minute marks of your teleseminar.
Right. And the correct answer, and many people do not know this, is D, between the 10-minute mark and the 40-minute mark of your teleseminar if you have a 60 or 70-minute teleseminar. Don't ask me why. I've tested over and over again. People are coming on the call 10 minutes into the call. Right now we are 16 minutes into this call, right? So I'm going to make the offer because I want to stay consistent with this. Now, I have continuing education available at the big seminar. If you've already registered with me or you're going to register with me or some of the other faculty members, I am going to give you a $150 scholarship right now as an offer. And I'm doing this for 2 reasons. Number 1, to help you save $150 if you decide to continue education with me with teleseminar marketing. Number 2, to show you the power of the technique because this is an offline strategy. This is an off-page strategy. At the same time, it is collecting opt-ins or emails, and it is giving you value if you want to continue education with me. Now, here's the strategy. I'm going to ask you to send a blank email to gift@teleseminarsecrets.com. gift@teleseminarsecrets.com. Now, teleseminarsecrets.com, by the way, was given to me by John Reese, who you interviewed a couple nights ago, and that's going to be the new website for my 8-module Teleseminar Secrets class. So I just gave an offer, and it's within 10 to 40 minutes of this teleseminar, and the reason I'm doing it is that's when the most number of participants are listening. I'm going to do it again before the 40-minute mark. So again, the answer is, if you have an offer, make sure you do it between 10 and 40 minutes, the 10 and 40-minute mark of your teleseminar, because up until 10 minutes, people are coming on, and after 40 minutes, people leave. Don't wait till the end. Do not wait till the end. Do it between 10 and 40 minutes, and I can guarantee.
You have just listened to a portion of this big seminar interview. To get the complete version, simply go to www.seminarsecrets.com. Find out how you can attend the next Internet Marketing Big Seminar. And for a very special offer you can't refuse, visit www.seminarsecrets.com.